Hi guys, and welcome to Cultnomics. My name is Paul Hanley, and today I'm going to be chatting to you about Solow growth model. Okay guys, so in part 2 of our Solow growth model, we're going to see the impact of one, a change in investment level on the growth rate of an economy, and number two, a change in the productivity level. So what we're going to assume in the first case is we have an investment level here indicated by the red line, and as shown previously we have a steady state rate of growth at the point indicated where capital is capital star and the output per worker is Y divided by L star. So in this case here, we assume that there is an increase in the savings rate in the economy and therefore an increase in the investment level. That can be indicated on our Solow model here by a shift upwards in the investment level. So a shift upwards can be indicated as follows if we draw it like this. So our entire investment level here increases upwards, and because it increases upwards, what we have is at the old steady state rate at the point indicated here, we now have a situation where the investment level is now higher than the depreciation rate. And what happened in part 1 was wherever you have investment higher than depreciation rate, you are more than compensating for any deterioration of capital, and that extra money that's left over can be invested in accumulating new capital. So wherever we see a gap between the investment level and depreciation, we see an accumulation of capital. And that can be indicated by a leftward shift along the x-axis here, with more capital being accumulated. And it accumulates up to the new point here, where the new investment level, indicated let's say by I2, is exactly equal to the depreciation rate. So at this level here, we have a new steady state growth rate with a higher level of capital, K2 star, and we have also moved along our production function. So at this point we are at a higher level on our production function compared to our previous steady state growth rate. It is higher, but not that much higher, so we've increased the output somewhat, and we have increased it to this point here. What you'll note as well is, based on the previous graph, at this point, whatever the slope is of the production function, that measures the growth in the economy. And at this point, you'll notice that the growth rate is even flatter than the previous video, in which case the growth rate is even lower in this case here. So we have a new steady state, SS, that is steady state growth rate 2 at a higher output level, but the growth rate has slightly diminished in this case here. So that's the case in terms of investment increasing. What we can also look at is the case where we have productivity increasing. So if we start off with our basic model again, a productivity increase in our production function is represented by an increase in the beta value. So the ability to combine both capital and labor to increase the output level. Productivity will mean that output increases even though labor and capital remain at the exact same level. So productivity increase in our case, because it increases the output level with no change in labor and capital, means that it actually shifts up the entire production function, not just the investment line. So what we see here is the production function increases or shifts upwards. We can indicate that with our two arrows here, and at the exact same level of capital, what we will see is the economy can still maintain its steady state rate at this point, but at that steady state rate with no extra capital, the output and therefore the output per worker has increased, and we can show that on our graph over here with an increase in output per worker. So we started off at this dot and we increased it to a higher output per worker level. So this again is with no change in capital, no change in labor, but the entire economy increases in size. Therefore, productivity and long-term economic growth is dependent on this productivity level, because it increases the entire size of the economy with no need to increase labour and capital, which anyway are subject to diminishing returns. So productivity is seen as a stronger way to increase output growth long term. I hope you call back to Cultnomics soon. Bye for now.